Welcome to Wargaming with Halpy. I'm Halpy, and in today's battle report, we're going to be doing the next in a series. In the last game, the Canadian 3rd had bumped into the 21st Panzer Division reconnaissance groups. The Germans came out on top and took over the small village. They have since then decided to defend the village and started working on defenses. Over the last 2 nights, the British have bombed them, and the 21st have been changed out, and now the Hitler Youth occupy the defensive position. They've put up wires, mines. They've got observers in the front buildings because they brought artillery. An ad hoc tank trap is there to slow down but not stop tanks as well. They've put up as much wire as they possibly could on the right flank. They have a platoon of infantry, the 12th SS Hitlerjugend. They're spread out pretty far, covering as much ground as they possibly can. You can see the company commander and his vehicle in the background where they can assist with motivations. They do have some support in the back. They've got a Panzergrenadiers, some heavy machine guns, there's a sniper and other things, but hopefully this will be enough to slow or stop the Canadians. They decided to do a U-shaped defense, where allowing the Canadians, or whoever, the attackers, to come down the middle and get flanked on both sides. There's Panzergrenadiers, the 2IC. At the bottom of the U, they've got strong units, heavy machine gun, and a pack. So this is just the left side of the U, and they do have good covering lines of fire. On the far side, they've also got a secret weapon, a British Firefly. This captured vehicle will cause the Canadians a lot of grief when it comes online. We are using the ambush rule, and even though it's in a cover here, it can come out anywhere. On the right flank, they have 2 artillery pieces, 2 150mm howitzers, a machine gun nest, 2 80mm mortars, and a couple of heavy machine guns rounding it off. So the table's set. Evening is set in. The Canadians have decided to attack at nighttime as per the British rules. First to spot them was one of the guards on the German right flank, and the Canadians' approach starts right at the bush line. So the first indication for the Germans is the Canadians are attacking with infantry. An infantry company, 2 platoons, fully stocked, and 2 observers for artillery, and you also see 3 universal carriers with heavy machine guns. On the Canadians' right flank, they also have another company of infantry, 2 platoons, both heavily set up. Between the 2 infantry is a full complement of 3-inch mortars, 6 of them, dug in, and they'll be able to help with bombardments and helping with smoke wherever possible at the assault. Okay, so the attack comes in at nighttime. For 3 turns it will be night, so even though the lights are on, we are attacking at nighttime, and unless someone shoots, they will have to roll for distances for sight. First platoon moves up. The spotters move up to the bush line. Looks like the heavy machine guns in the carriers, or machine gun carriers, have made their way over the bushes, and the platoon on that side has been stopped by the wire. Okay, visibility. Check for visibility. Everything looked great, and we rolled all the hits for the Canadians. Failed. Absolutely nothing hit. So it was absolutely ridiculous. The Germans obviously had their heads down. Return fire from the Germans. Because the Canadians all shot, it's obvious they don't even have to roll for how far they can see in the dark. The Canadians immediately lose 2 teams of infantry, and that's because Panzergrenadiers are, well, they're SS Hitlerjugend. They have machine guns. Firepower's heavy. Infantry's already dropped. No damage was done to the right platoon, luckily. 1 machine gun team was left, and they took a Hail Mary shot at the universal carriers with the heavy machine guns, and it actually worked. They made their hit. The British failed their armor test, and the machine gun team made their 6 for the firepower. killing one of well, actually the big firepower for the Canadians. Also a sniper set up by that building on the left there. Took a shot, didn't do any damage, but did pin the Canadians. So anytime you hit with a sniper, it automatically pins that team, and that could be frustrating for them. Okay, on the British turn, of course, well, Canadians, they get 2 tries to unpin, and it's easily done. The unpinning is done for the right team as well. Okay, saving throws to get rid of the wire. They have to roll 2 successful skills per team to do it, and it looks like quite effective. Okay, these guys were on Normandy just a few weeks ago, so they probably got the skill sets and the equipment still to take out wire fairly easily. Well, the 2 machine gun teams stay where they are. Their firepower goes up to 8 per, and so the Canadians on the left-hand side push into towards the entrenched young Germans, while the heavy machine guns dump in as much fire as they possibly can to help them out with that. The Canadians failed to do 5 hits on the Germans, so they were not pinned. Also, the spotters called in smoke. So the 3-inch mortars have put in a huge smoke line, not in front of the German trenches, but behind them, so that the sniper and perhaps heavy machine guns in the background will not be able to affect as the Canadians now charge heavily into the... they outnumbered the Germans on this flank, so I assume they're expecting success. They should just steamroll right through this group. So on the defensive fire for the Germans, since they are machine gun teams, and they're not even pinned, they do take a lot of hits, and unfortunately fortunately for the Canadians, they don't lose that many men, and the attack comes off. All right, 1 German went down. Motivation for the Germans, they're fearless, and obviously they rolled that off camera, a lot of stuff, so they push in. Looks like the odds are pretty even. 2 Germans against 5 Canadians. Germans make their hit, and again. And now motivation test for the Canadians to see whether they can stick and continue this assault. And the answer is no. They pull back. So, first assault fails. So the Germans motivating. Let's try it again. 3's the term. Yep. No, they fail their motivation, but they still can fire. So they open up into the Canadians with everything they can, and machine gun teams still get rate of fire 2 when pinned, so it's not too bad. And with all the hits, looks like 2 Canadians more fail. Okay, now with such a slim amount left on the table, they have to roll for motivation to stick it. They do, so even though they're under 50%, they're still okay. On the Canadians' turn, they unpin and dig in. That's about the only thing. If they even tried to run from that position, it could be bad for them. So that they just stop. And while this is happening, the heavy machine guns continue to open up onto the teams. Now, they notice one in the open that did not take advantage of a trench. Now, I noticed this later, and I actually re-rolled thinking that's silly. You know, they should have actually gone into the foxhole. That was a fault on my part. But I did re-roll it, and sure enough, the machine gun team did kill the guy, even though he was in the foxhole. So the saving throw was made, and the 6 was rolled for firepower. Okay, the Canadians on this side, they are pushing forward. They've got themselves in good situation, and they completely outnumber that side of the defensive line. And if they can push through hard into the center ground here, that should help out immediately. But unfortunately, we're going to have to wait. Stay tuned for the finale of this battle. We have to see what happens on the right flank for the Canadians as well. Reinforcements will be coming in for both teams. So, thanks for watching. This is Wargaming with Halpy. I'm Halpy, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Happy trails.